Hello everyone, and welcome to Fractal Model 23.9. This is the update for the third quarter. We are really excited about this update. We have three new features that we'll talk about. The three features are a new analyzer to evaluate how the bid optimizer has done. You can go through day by day, week by week, month by month, and take a look at how the financials work with the forecast and the bid optimization. We have an availability calculator where you can do sensitivity on how availability will affect your financials. And this includes liquidated damages and the cost of the availability guarantees. And then last, we have updated battery pricing. This is really important because the market is changing so quickly. Let's get started. To be able to analyze how the bid optimizer did, first you will copy and paste a little bit of data, in particular the tabs that are labeled revenue and the tab labeled outputs. So once you paste the information, and you will paste it in this tab, now you have the ability to not only look at how the optimizer did on an annual basis, but also on a monthly basis, and then a day-by-day basis for whatever day and month you've previously selected. Here you can see how the monthly revenue evolves in the year, and you can select year by year as you go along. Whatever year you want to take a look at, you could just select it and it'll come up and you can see what the performance is. The purple line signifies what the theoretical TB4 would do. This is an important concept because sometimes a TB4, if you've done a business model that involves some ancillaries, sometimes TB4 is not achievable the next day as far as a perfect TB4 or a clairvoyant TB4. We are benchmarking against that, but keep in mind that if you've done a different strategy than TB4 the previous day, then TB4 may not be fully achievable, at least perfectly, the next day. So sometimes TB4 will outperform what we do in the optimizer, but it's because of physical limitations. But you can go in, you can compare, you can go month by month, you can take a look at how everything's performing. And if there is a particular day you're interested in, well, now you can really deep dive to see what's happening and to see how it's performing and perhaps understand whether there's a physical limitation or whether there might be some improvement in the bid optimization. The next update in the Fractal model is the availability tab. This tab allows you to put in values for what you believe is an achievable availability, and then you can also backstop that against any availability guarantees, the cost of those guarantees, and liquidated damages, along with any caps to those liquidated damages. So let's run some scenarios. Here you can see we have 100% availability. This means that all the revenue is going through, there are no LDs, everything's perfect. And the rate of return, or the internal rate of return, is 9.77. If we just change the first year of availability to 95%, you can see that the rate of return has gone from 9.77 to 9.75. And what's happening here is that you're getting somewhat of a backstop. The availability guarantee is paying for the difference in availability between 95 and 97. If you look down at the bottom, you can see that the LD rate is $100 per megawatt hour per day. Now, if we go to the cash flow, you can see that in this new line item in the cash flow, payment for LDs is now showing for the first year. You get a little bit of an offset. Your revenue has gone down by 5%, but you're getting back some portion because of the LDs. And of course, in negotiations, in contract negotiations, you're going to try to get as close as possible to your expected revenue for your LD payment. Typically for a 4-hour system, $100 per megawatt hour per day is about where you need to be. And here you can see how it all fits together. And here you can see, if we put in even lower availability, that the $100 per megawatt hour per day essentially makes you whole. So our rate of return at 100 was 9.77, and now our rate of return at 91% with a $100 LD gets you back to that original performance. Now, if you put in an even lower availability, notice how the rate of return is going down. Also, the LD cap is maxed out, because you're maxed out, now your rate of return is suffering. But if we put in a higher LD cap, let's say 5 million, now you're being made even more whole. In this case, there's a point at which $100 per megawatt hour slowly gets you back to the point where you're made whole. But if you have a really low availability and you have a really high LD cap, well, now maybe the LD is a little bit better than your revenue profile. And here we can see that the cumulative LD is about 1.7 million. So in the 5 million cap, there's still a lot of room there, which I hope you never experience. Also, if you scroll down and you want to get even more detailed about availability and you want to run even more scenarios, you can actually go in and put in a random availability profile. This will reflect in the revenues. You'll see it in the performance, both physical and financial. And this allows you to really dig in to see how you are affected by kind of random unavailability. The last update is new pricing. As many of you know, Fractal helps with a lot of procurements. We get to see a lot of pricing. We make that available as an estimate in the Fractal model. It's very important. Pricing is really starting to move quickly to the benefit of the buyers. This is the most up-to-date pricing that we have. It's an exciting time. Prices are starting to become more owner-friendly. So take a look, bounce off your pricing with what we have, and just make sure you're in the same ballpark. All right, well, those are the updates for Fractal Model 23.9. We really appreciate everyone that supported the Fractal Model. We would love to continue supporting you in your endeavors. If you would like a demo of the Fractal Model, feel free to reach out to the information here. We thank you and have a great day.